welcome to Indus News. Live from Islamabad, I'm Naila Shuja, and these are the headlines. Pakistan has started nationwide vaccination drive against COVID-19 with the first jab administered to a frontline health worker. The health ministry says 56 people have died and nearly 1,400 people tested positive overnight. Meanwhile, Saudi Arabia has suspended entry into the kingdom from 20 countries to help curb the spread of the coronavirus. Globally, the virus has claimed 2.25 million lives and infected over 103.8 million people so far. The United States says it will consider rejoining the 2015 nuclear deal only after Iran makes the first move. In a briefing, State Department spokesperson Ned Price said if Iran comes back with full compliance with its obligations under the deal, Washington would do the same. Earlier, Iran's foreign minister proposed synchronized moves by Tehran and Washington to return to the deal. In Myanmar, staff in 70 hospitals and 30 major towns across the country have stopped working in protest against the military coup in the country. The medics movement said it would refuse to obey any order from the illegitimate military regime. Meanwhile, Myanmar's United Nations envoy urged the Security Council to collectively send a clear signal in support of democracy in the country. In Russia, police have detained nearly 1,400 people during protests in support of jailed opposition leader Alexei Navalny. The Kremlin critics team called for the protest earlier. He was jailed for 3.5 years for violating the conditions of a sentence. He was arrested 2 weeks ago on his return to Russia for the first time since being poisoned last year. And in football, Manchester United have thrashed nine-man Southampton 9-0, making the Saints the third team to lose a Premier League contest by this margin. With this dominating win, United are leveled on second place with leaders Manchester City on 44 points. For more news and details, stay tuned. We'll be right back after a short break. Welcome back. Pakistan has kicked off its COVID-19 vaccination drive with the first jab delivered to frontline health workers. Federal Minister for Planning Asad Umar formally initiated the national immunization drive in a ceremony in Islamabad. The National COVID-19 Command and Operations Center says the first tranche of vaccines has reached all federating units. Special Assistant to PM on Health, Dr. Faisal Sultan, says getting vaccinated will be voluntarily. Meanwhile, Pakistan has recorded another 56 deaths overnight, pushing the toll to 11,802 deaths. Health officials reported nearly 1,400 infections in the last 24 hours. They say currently there are more than 33,000 active cases in the country. Out of over 549,000 people so far infected, 504,000 have recovered. Saudi Arabia has suspended entry into the kingdom from 20 countries to help curb the spread of the coronavirus. Saudi state media says diplomats, Saudi citizens, medical practitioners, and their families are exempted from the ban. The kingdom has reported over 6,000 deaths with more than 368,000 infections. Meanwhile, vaccine rollouts are facing roadblocks and challenges. World Health Organization chief has also warned that the vaccine nationalism currently pitting countries against each other is harmful to all. The WHO team has visited major various research laboratories in China's city of Wuhan, seeking clues to the origins of the COVID-19. Globally, the virus has claimed 2.25 million lives and infected over 103.8 million people so far. The United States says that it will consider rejoining the 2015 nuclear deal only after Iran makes the first move. The State Department says if Tehran comes back into full compliance with its obligations under the deal, Washington would do the same. The department spokesperson said that U.S. would then use that as a platform to build a longer deal that also addresses other areas of concern. In a briefing, Ned Price said Washington will have to consider some steps before entertaining Tehran's proposal over the nuclear deal. Earlier, Iran's foreign minister proposed synchronized moves by Tehran and Washington to return to the deal. Javad Zarif said EU Foreign Policy Chief Joseph Borrell could play the role of a coordinator for the Joint Commission of the deal. In Myanmar, staff at 70 hospitals in 30 towns across the country have stopped work to protest the military coup. The medics movement says that it will refuse to obey any order from the illegitimate military regime. The cacophony of striking pans and honking vehicles was heard across Myanmar's biggest city of Yangon in protest against Monday's coup. As the military tightens its grip on the country, calls are growing for the release of the elected leader Aung San Suu Kyi. In a statement, the Myanmar Civil Disobedience Movement termed the military rule illegitimate. They said that the army is pursuing its interest at the expense of the vulnerable population. Meanwhile, the ruling military warned against media and public statements saying they will cause instability. And the G7 foreign ministers say military restrictions on information flows are deeply concerning. In a separate development, the United Nations Security Council has so far failed to agree on a joint statement condemning the coup. The Indian Supreme Court will hear a batch of pleas pertaining to the violence during farmers' tractors rally on the Republic Day. Over 100 farmers have died as tens of thousands continue to protest against contentious new farm laws. One of the pleas has sought setting up of a commission headed by a retired apex court judge to inquire into the incident. Meanwhile, Swedish activist Greta Thunberg has also joined the pop star Rihanna to extend support to farmers at the Delhi borders. In a tweet, Thunberg said that she stands in solidarity with the farmers. United Kingdom Member of Parliament Claudia Wiebe has also expressed her support to the farmers. New Delhi police have blocked access to farmers' protest sites with barbed wire and trenches. Journalists and other visitors have been denied entry to the sites as internet blackout continues there. Pakistan says it has been successful in mobilizing a considerable number of U.S. lawmakers to highlight Indian aggression in occupied Kashmir.
You would recall that I put together a delegation of different political parties, and we went to the House of Commons to highlight the plight of Kashmiris. We got a lot of support from the all-parliamentary group on Kashmir, in the House of Commons. Members of Parliament from different political parties, Tories, Labour, Liberal Democrats, they were all there, from House of Lords and Commons, they were there, and they highlighted what we've been saying. In fact, they endorsed a lot of things that Pakistan was highlighting. We need to engage more with civil society. We need to engage more with think tanks because it's a human issue. And a lot of Western democracies speak of human issues.
In Russia, police have detained nearly 1,400 people during protests in support of jailed opposition leader Alexei Navalny. The Kremlin critics team called for the protest after he was jailed for 3.5 years for violating the conditions of a sentence. The United States, Britain, Germany, and the European Union urged Moscow to immediately free Navalny. He was arrested 2 weeks ago on his return to Russia for the first time since being poisoned last year. In the United States, the legal team of former President Donald Trump has challenged the Senate's authority to try him as a private citizen on an impeachment charge. Trump's lawyers made the objections as both sides filed briefs with the Senate a week before the trial. Trump's defense team said that the chamber also lacked jurisdiction to prevent him from holding office again. The former president denied the charge of incitement of insurrection through his lawyers and called the trial unconstitutional. Meanwhile, Democrat impeachment managers said Trump should be convicted and barred from holding public office in the future. In an 80-page brief, they said that Trump pointed a mob of supporters like a loaded cannon to the U.S. Capitol. United States President Joe Biden has signed 3 executive orders for a fairer, orderly, and humane immigration system. They seek to reunite migrant families split up by existing policies and review the Trump-era migration agenda. One of the orders will set up a task force to reunite migrant families separated at the U.S.-Mexico border between 2017 and 2018. The second and third orders seek to review of Trump's immigration policies that curtailed asylum, slowed legal immigration, and canceled funding to foreign countries. Speaking at the White House, Biden said he was not making new laws, but eliminating the bad policy.
I want to make it clear, there's a lot of talk, with good reason, about the number of executive orders that I have signed. I'm not making new law. I'm eliminating bad policy. What I'm doing is taking on the issues that 99% of them, that the last president of the United States, issued executive orders I thought were very counterproductive to our security, counterproductive to who we are as a country, particularly in the area of immigration. This is about how America is safer, stronger, more prosperous when we have a fair, orderly, and humane legal immigration system. And with the first action today, we're going to work to undo the moral and national shame of the previous administration that literally, not figuratively, ripped children from the arms of their families, their mothers and fathers at the border, and with no plan, none whatsoever, to reunify the children who are still in custody and their parents. The second action addresses the root causes of our migration to our southern border. And the third action, the third order I'm going to be signing, orders a full review of the previous administration's harmful and counterproductive immigration.
In the United States, 2 FBI agents have been shot dead and 3 others injured after a raid at a home in southern Florida. In a statement, the FBI said that the agents were serving a search warrant at a home in Sunrise. The gunfight took place at an upscale gated community north of Miami. Officials say that the search warrant sought evidence in connection with a suspected possession of a child pornography case. They said that the suspect has also died. It's now time for a short break. Stay with us. Welcome back. Now in Somalia, Al-Shabaab militants have killed 8 people, including soldiers in the lower Shabelle region. The regional police official says that several others were injured as terrorists ambushed military personnel in the vicinity of Dunka. In a statement, the official said that the military personnel were targeted while escorting vehicles carrying goods to the capital. Al-Shabaab claimed the responsibility of the attack. The militants also claimed the attack on African Union mission in Somalia's region of Bakol, killing at least 4 soldiers. Meanwhile, Somalian security forces have shot dead 3 Al-Shabaab terrorists in the central city of Dusamarib. The city's mayor said that the security forces have arrested 2 terrorists and recovered heavy machine guns and other weapons. At least 2 people have died after heavy rains and flash floods struck Turkey's Aegean coastal province of Izmir. The 2 victims were trapped inside a vehicle that was swept away by rising water. Izmir's governor said that the region was hit by more rain in 10 hours than the average total for February. A deputy interior minister said that the showers caused 19 streams to overflow, resulting in flooding. The officials say around 50 houses and workplaces as well as 40 vehicles were damaged. The downpour is expected to continue until Wednesday in Izmir and nearby Aydin province. In October, Izmir was struck by a powerful earthquake that toppled buildings, killing over 100 people. A SpaceX prototype rocket exploded on landing during a high-altitude experimental launch from Boca Chica, Texas. The Starship SN9 blew up on its final descent, just like the SN8 destroyed it before. It was not immediately clear what went wrong. The Federal Aviation Administration said it will oversee an investigation into the crash landing. The rocket was a prototype for the heavy lift rocket being developed by billionaire Elon Musk's private space company. It plans to carry humans and 100 tons of cargo on future missions to the Moon and Mars. More than 8,000 people from Asia, the Middle East, and North Africa remain in Bosnia after the European Union countries sealed their borders due to the coronavirus pandemic. Many live in tents and in woods or houses and factories damaged in the Bosnian War of the 1990s. Details in this report.
Among thousands of migrants stuck in northern Bosnia, children in one family are waiting out the bitter winter and missing their mother. Iraqi citizen Farhan Hazam and his 3 children were separated from his wife and another child while trying to cross into European Union member Croatia. Police turned Hazam and his children back to Bosnia, while his wife and another child made it across and then on to Germany. The family are sheltering in a house owned by Bosnians living abroad who agreed to let the family stay there with the help of a local charity.
40. Go and come back, go and come back. 40 game. I know it's 1 game go, 2 game go, Slovenia and come back. It's I know it's police say, sorry, it's no can't help you.
Zahida Bihorak Odobashik, a school teacher and activist, visits the Hazam family with supplies as well as other migrants living in a snowbound tent camp.
Those who try to help these people are condemned and mistreated. Very often, they are victims of verbal and physical violence. I have been the victim of a physical attack by individuals, members of certain Facebook groups, calling for persecution and violence against these migrants and those who help them.
The EU has repeatedly called on Bosnian authorities to provide accommodation to at least 1,000 people sleeping rough during the winter. Since early 2018, the bloc has provided more than 88 million euros to help Bosnia manage the migrant crisis.
Robotics company Boston Dynamics has unveiled an expanded product line, including a new version of its robot called Spot. After the addition of an armed dog-like Spot, it can find your slippers all by itself and can also bring them to you. More about Spot in this report.
Boston Dynamics is teaching its robot dog Spot new tricks. The 4-legged Spot can perform autonomous remote inspections and data collection. The robot went on sale last June, starting at $74,500. The company says there are over 400 Spots out in the world, including on a factory floor at Ford and helping with oil rig inspection for BP. Spot comes with self-charging capabilities and a dock. The company says the new arm-like protrusion with a gripper has been in development for some time and was top of the wish list for many clients.
Where we say, that's a thing I want you to grab, go grab it. And the robot does everything else. It will figure out a way to get there. It will figure out a way to reach out, grab the object, and it will figure out how to pull it back at the velocity that you've told it to.
While robotics was on the rise before the pandemic, the seismic changes in the workplace and home lives are accelerating trends towards a viable robot workforce. Most of the shift will likely be to software-based solutions. A consulting firm, McKinsey, recently surveyed 800 executives. It found that 70% of companies have accelerated the adoption of automation and artificial intelligence.
Suddenly, the number of spaces where our technology, the key story of taking a person out of a dangerous environment has expanded pretty tremendously over the last year. Now, I think that's probably a short-term blip where as people start getting back to work and the workspaces become safer, I think people will reevaluate the need of that type of automation in their space.
The Spot arm was teased in a jaw-dropping video showing it dancing alongside other Boston Dynamic robots. The YouTube video has clocked up nearly 29 million views since its release on 29th of December.
Shares in Asia Pacific are trading higher as investors continue to drive the rally following positive sentiment in global markets and the reduction in the rate of global spread of COVID-19. Japan's Nikkei 225 is leading the gains, rising over 1%. South Korea's Kospi and Australia's ASX 200 have gained nearly 1%, while Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index has also edged up marginally. Mainland Chinese shares have edged up fractionally, with both the Shanghai Composite and the Shenzhen Component in positive territory. It's now time to take a look at the weather around the world. For the latest news updates, you can follow us on our social media at Indus.News.